Hi, my name is Jenny Lynn Patterson LaCour's, and I am the founder and CEO of Jenny Lynn Fitness, home of Sweat. I've been an aquatic fitness instructor in NYC for the last 2 decades, and I'm currently working on launching my Sweat certificate program.
And I'm AJ Myers from Made by Myers. I specialize in podcast production, web design, branding, and business development. And you're listening to the Aquaholics Bootcamp.
We created this podcast to interview guests who inspire and motivate us within the aquatic fitness industry and beyond. Each episode, we'll chat with them about what they're working on professionally, as well as get to know them a little bit better personally.
So let's dive on in.
Joining us today is the first certified sweat instructor, Christopher LaCour's. Chris has been an aquatic instructor and personal trainer for the last 7 years, as well as a professional vocal coach and actor here in New York City. Welcome to the program, a real jack of all trades, Christopher LaCour's.
Yay! Welcome, Chris.
Hi, guys. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Well, for purposes of full disclosure, you were named a real jack of all trades, and probably one of the biggest jacks for Christopher is also being Jenny Lynn's loving and amazing husband.
Aww.
Oh,
Yeah. So, Chris, you're in New York City, obviously, with Jenny.
yes.
How have you been keeping yourself active and healthy during this crazy lockdown and quarantine?
Oh, boy. Active and healthy. Well, having a routine is a big thing to make sure you have at times like this, because you have to be doing something all the time, or else boredom gets to you. You find yourself on social media all the time. So, we do a little yoga every day, walking multiple times a day. We've been putting out videos online for people, so that's kept us active as well, fitness wise. And other than that, it's been actually a lot of recovery time. We're active regularly so much that this is actually a nice time to take advantage of not doing anything, or taking it a little easier than we normally would. So that's been good.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, for people who don't know you or your story, can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in aquatic fitness and maybe your background in fitness training?
Well, before water fitness, all I had done was play sports at the high school, a little bit college level, not really professional college, but during college. Fitness was kind of on the back burner. And after I had met Jenny, she had just recently gotten into water fitness. And at the time when we had met, which was 15 years ago, that was a while ago,
Nice.
but she introduced me to it originally. I never took a class. And then I had a very serious back injury due to a snowboarding accident. And I had to have surgery 6 months after that on my spine. And I had atrophied so much that I couldn't go back into a gym and lift weights. It was just not happening. So that was Jenny's opportunity to go, get in here. I've been telling you to get in the pool. Just get in.
Yeah.
So before that point, you had never tried out one of her classes, or she was still really new to teaching that herself?
I just, I don't even remember having too many conversations about even going. I think it was like, hey, if you have time, come check it out. And I'd be like, yeah, okay.
Right.
But I was kind of anti-gym anyway. I'm not a gym person naturally.
Gotcha. Jenny, do you remember the first time Chris got in the pool?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think more than anything, I never pressured him because I was a little nervous to have him in class. There was something a little easier about teaching to people who were just the gym regulars or people I didn't know meeting for the first time. But when it's people I get more anxious about it because there's more pressure to, meet the expectations of what it's going to be. So,
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah,
Like you're kind of almost performing beyond, your regular audience. Now you have someone who's kind of extra special watching.
Yes, exactly. And I was excited that he had to get into the pool, not obviously excited about the injury,
Hmm.
but very excited about him getting in water. And he was a really good student in the sense that he already had body control. And I think that comes from playing sports, but also he didn't push himself too hard in the beginning, which you shouldn't, especially coming from post injury or surgery. And after a while, I think he just got really strong in a short period of time, and from that point, that is really when sweat started to be born because I wanted to push him specifically harder in the water, so it became this, like, "What can I do to make this the most extreme water boot camp class ever?"
Yeah, for sure. So Chris,
Yeah.
you injured your back, you got in class. How long after that did something click and you say, I don't want to just take this, I want to teach this?
Well, it was a few things. So after taking Jenny's classes for such a while, I'd say a couple years, I had started to just get creative with the things she was doing for myself in the water, and I would just do these random moves, and she would kind of pick up on it and be like, "That was cool. Like, what was that?" And she would start to throw them into her classes, and she would come up with more ideas off of that, and so it things just started growing naturally as far as the intensity of the workout that was being done. And I think her students started to catch on. And because of that, at the time, being an actor and a musician, I kind of have pockets of time in my day. And Jenny had been running into an issue of finding substitutes at her gyms that could teach at the same intensity level for her students. They would get subs, and other people teach great. There's no problem with their way, but some students expect subs to teach the way that their teacher teaches, and if that doesn't happen, they get a little upset, especially in New York. They like things a very certain way.
Hmm.
So that kept happening, and Jenny said, you've been taking this for so long, and you're already a teacher. You teach voice. You went to school for that, so why don't you think about doing fitness and just getting certified, and then you can just jump into the gyms and be my sub. And I was like, that makes sense. Like, there's no reason for me not to do that.
Wow.
Make some money.
Yeah.
I get free gym membership. And so that's what I did. I really took my time doing my NASM and my ACE certifications. I didn't rush it.
Hmm.
um, and once I received them, I also got my AEA certification around the same time. I kind of did everything within, I'd say, a 2-year span, slowly, just one after the other. I started going down to IAFCs with Jenny Lynn down in Tampa. And through all of that, it just became what it is. I started teaching more. After I would sub, people would be like, you should have your own class too. And so I started taking on classes. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's bloomed from there.
I'm glad that you found it to be as rewarding as Jenny does, and I think many other instructors do.
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, first of all, I'd never stayed with any sort of workout ever in my life for more than a couple of weeks. Like, I hate working out. Like I said, I hate gyms. So getting into a pool, I was like, okay, like, I can swim, but pools ain't my jam, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I fell in love with it so quick just because of how it made my body feel. And so when the opportunity came to teach it, I was like, yeah, like, I love doing this. Like, other people are going to love doing this too. And no guys are doing this, which is ridiculous to me. So
Hmm.
yeah, let me jump in here and like help Jenny, help our business, and help other people who should know about this, because this is kind of an unspoken fitness thing that's going on.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
How would you say teaching aquatic fitness has changed your life now that you're a teacher for several years?
It's very interesting being a performer, an actor and a musician, and also a teacher. Teaching aquatics, there's so many similarities that are involved. One, you are on deck, which is very similar to being on a stage. You have an audience staring at you, and literally everything you do, they are at your whim. They're at your fingertips. You go left, they go left. It's like you take them on your journey with you as a performer. That's your job. So to translate it onto a deck, it's not the exact same thing, but there are definitely similarities. You have to know how to control a group of people. You have to know what your plan is going in. And so I just really took to it much easier than I had assumed I would,
Mm.
coming from already a teaching background, and also a creative background, and a background that has taught me how to think on my feet,
Mhm.
which is very much a style that you, Jenny, teach. It's a compartmentalized style that allows you to be creative within it.
Right.
And so I took to that so easily. And the more I did it, the more it started to make sense to me. Like, oh, this is why this is so fun for me. This is why I like this so much. I like interacting with people. I like doing something for people and seeing that they're getting something from it. As a performer, that's why we perform. Yeah, we're a little egotistical, but the whole point is to influence people
Right.
and their lives. So if I can do that, not only as a creative artist, uh, I can now do it also as a person who can help their physical life as well, not just their emotional life. So it's great for me. I love it.
Absolutely. I know you've heard me talk about it over the years, the misconceptions of aquatic fitness that we've been touching on, and
Hmm.
especially trying to get either the younger population, the more able-bodied, or men into the pool. How would you say that you are now working to change that misconception as, from being an instructor yourself now?
So the way that I'm able to teach on deck is kind of a very physical, like I yell, I'm a voice coach. I can use my voice very effectively. So it sounds like I'm a football coach yelling at people when I'm telling them what to do in a pool, which is for someone young. Yeah,
Yeah.
for someone young, they're like, whoa, this guy's doing this. Okay, there must be something to this. I think it is what you are bringing to the stage,
Yeah.
just like any performer, and that's not to say, because you don't teach a hardcore, intense fitness style that you're not going to bring men in. It's not that at all. Your personality has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
Like if and you really believe in the thing that you are doing and the thing that you are trying to teach people to help better their life, and you truly believe in it, and the knowledge of it, and what it does for people, when someone asks you about it, that information is going to come out in spades, or it should,
Mhm.
and people can either take it or leave it. But either way, like, it's not your job to convince, like, every guy that walks in the door, looks at your class, like, get in the pool. There are plenty of men that come downstairs, look at me, look at what I'm doing, smirk, and I just look at them like, all right, later. Like, you can't let it affect you, because everybody has an audience, and your audience will find you. You just have to know what you're bringing to the table and just keep doing it.
First of all, in New York City, your classes are typically, in some gyms, the men outnumber the women 2 to 1. Like your students, you have more male students in your classes than female students.
Yeah.
So, if you could, Chris,
Hmm.
if you could give a piece of advice to someone a male or someone of a younger age, or someone who has never tried aquatic fitness ever, besides getting them into the pool to try it, what would you say? What are they missing out on?
The one thing I constantly tell people, I say, this is the most deceptive workout you will ever take. And just know that the more you stick with this, the more it is going to help you long term, longer than any other workout you're going to really be able to do.
Hmm, that's great.
But that's my take. I've never done a workout that has benefited me so greatly for everything else that I do, and doesn't negatively affect me in any way.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that when you're up on deck, just like on a stage, you get to kind of fulfill that performer itch that you have naturally. You're an actor and you're a singer,
Mhm.
and you offer voice lessons, right?
So yeah, I've been a vocal coach for many, many years. Very kind of quietly. I've had a bunch of students. I don't advertise. It's kind of by word of mouth. I have some well-known actors that I've worked with, some Broadway people, young children, and there's also a new kind of group of people that have been having issues lately, which are the fitness trainers.
Mm.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because you're on deck and you're screaming because everything is already amplified.
Your voice has to match your enthusiasm, is
Hmm.
the best way to say it. And to constantly keep that up for half hour to an hour, depending on the length of your class, whether land setting or aquatic setting, it takes a toll on your voice and your body,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yeah. Chris, I understand you obviously you did a vocal care video recently. Speaking of for fitness instructors that streamed on Fit Motivation. So why don't you tell us a little bit about why you think instructor self care is so important?
When I originally got into teaching in the pools, I had never been really accustomed to the acoustics in a pool area and just what happens in there with your voice and how it gets lost. And, the water's making noise, the hot tubs are making noise, people are talking over in the corner. There's so much happening that if you are not vocally prepared, strength wise, to deal with that, however many times a week you have to do that, very quickly you will notice that you are going to develop vocal issues. Your voice is going to tire out. You're going to lose your voice by the end of the day. And so when I started teaching, I was running into this issue. I knew immediately I had to do something about it. So I myself also have a vocal coach, and I would speak to her. We worked through it. And I would say it took me a good 2 years to get to a point where I felt like I could, teach the number of classes I was teaching and not feel like I was on the verge of injuring my voice. But it took constant work and practice and daily vocalizations, relaxation techniques, all these things that I do for my vocal students. It's the same, it's just voice work. The voice is a muscle. It should be treated the same as any other part of your body, but since it's internal, people can't see it. And so they don't think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
In doing these classes, I have learned much more about vocal technique, ironically. So again, it's like a full circle thing. I use the fitness stuff for my vocal stuff, for my acting stuff, for everything. And I feel like everything should be that way in life. But I guess I'm just lucky enough to have found that. So I thank my lovely wife for that opportunity.
It's been my pleasure.
Scoring some points on a podcast.
That's right. You gotta get them when you can. Yeah.
um, so, in addition to all these instructor self care tips, what's an example that you do to take care of yourself on a daily basis?
Vocally, it is all about being in a relaxed state. So what I'll do in the mornings before I have to go teach, I'll do these little things called lip burrs. Where you just, burr your lips together. Babies do it all the time. But you do that up and down your vocal register. You just literally do those over and over. If you did those in a shower for 5 minutes, by the time you got out, you will be warmed up. Guaranteed, 100%. Much more than you would if you weren't doing anything. So that's an easy one for everyone out there. Outside of that, stretching every day. If it's not yoga, it is stretching on the floor with a belt. I have to do something with my hips as a teacher and demonstrating. My pelvis and hips are a mess all the time. And just trying to work out as much as I can when I have time and strengthening my glutes and my legs to, keep them strong and not feel like I'm getting old before I should.
Yeah. Those are great. Now, are those some of the examples that we can find in the instructor self-care video that you did?
Yeah, that is one of the examples in the instructor self-care
That's great. So
video.
for people who are interested, you can go to jennylynnfitness.com/shop and find the video there. It's among a few others that you've done. You've done dude moves and several other videos.
Oh yeah. There's a few videos out there with my face on it.
Excellent. Well, as we're wrapping up here, I know that Jenny knows where to find you at all times, Chris. But for our listeners, where can they reach you and find out more about what you're doing, and if they're interested in vocal lessons or any of your other things that you teach? Where can people find you?
Yeah, well, they can reach me at my email, LaCour7, LaCour with the number 7 at Gmail. If anyone's interested in vocal coaching, things like that. Yeah, that's the best way to reach me. I also have a website, my acting website. You can go search that out yourselves if you want. But
I will say it's a beautiful website.
It is actually a beautiful website. It was done by this amazing gentleman named AJ Myers.
Oh, it was made by Myers?
It was made by Myers. That's correct.
All
Yeah,
right. Well,
so
if you want to see Chris in all of his glory as an actor and his reel, be sure to go to chris-lacour.com.
or you want to put me in your movie or television show,
There you go.
that's where you want to go as well.
There you go.
And then on Instagram, I am an LaCour NYC.
LaCour NYC. We'll make sure to link everything in our show notes, and any of the topics that we've discussed, of course, we'll be sure to provide those as well. But thanks so much for joining us, Chris. This was a really great interview.
Hey, thanks for having me, you guys. It was a blast. Jenny?
So happy to have you.
Yeah, it was great talking to you, Jenny. AJ, it's great talking to you. Jenny, I will see you in a minute. And
Yes.
yeah.
All right, awesome.
For more content like this, go to jennylynnfitness.com/podcast.
And please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your audio content.
Thank you so much for listening, and stay hydrated.